by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were racist.
You can get on his backside.
Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image. So I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happened to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Because you've literally made black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the N-word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense.
Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to act in a certain way, if I have to cross the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault for having bad behavior?
It's mind-boggling.
I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly, and you will
well, go
not
on then,
have
say it. Say the N-word. Go on, say the N-word. Go on.
No.
Don't invite.
No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here.
So he knows not to just be loud about it. He slips it in.
N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do. But we already know she's racist. And I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
We approve of it. We support it. These are not the same thing. And it's bonkers to me that we couldn't all stand and say, hey, it is wrong to call a 5-year-old autistic black child the N-word.
Yeah. You still didn't say it on that? Nah. Okay, damn. So it must have been in the other one. You may just missed it. So what's happening is it's not a standalone statement, and that's why people felt like it was a slip in just to appease the man.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so it was when he would say, "Don't you just say the N-word." I know you don't mean no. It was that. Right. It wasn't just standalone.
In other words, you should have checked him for even inviting her to say it, but he did say, don't have her say that.
Right.
But what you're saying is he also said, I know you don't mean no harm.
Yes.
So I'm not holding you accountable for the fact that you actually invited her to say it.
And that line actually blew up and he responded to it. And he said, again, it was a strategic move on his part. But I don't compromise my integrity.
You can't
for a strategic move for the white folks. You know what I'm saying?
I hope.
And so he responded to it. So, but we'll move on from that.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because I know that Joe Budden Podcast is somewhere where you go, you do a lot of views at. I'm of the belief, and a lot of my fans are of the belief, that we were very instrumental in them actually pulling the trigger on Umar. Of course, they knew Umar for a long time. After our Deion Sanders debate, I think there was they said, oh, no, we beat Umar. And of course, when you went up there, one of the first conversations was, hey, we saw you debate about about Deion.
Okay.
And, so I take pride in being influential in that way in the market, just opening what people think is available to do with Umar, right? It ain't just because for me, I feel as though our dynamic kind of changes the way that people deal with you, right? Okay. In regards to Umar as an intellectual. He invites this. He invites, make me clarify, make me stand on it, because I'm going to tell you why it makes sense.
Yes, sir.
And I believe in those moments, you shine so bright that even in your 25th hour, it still brings in more new people. When you
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So
absolutely.
Are you prepared to go and do the 20v1 on Joe Budden's podcast at this point?
I didn't know he was interested in a 20v1.
That's what is. If you go to Joe Budden's podcast, they have Marc Lamont Hill there to combat you on your way there.
Right, but I thought 20v1 was when you pop.
I mean 20v1, just 20 versus Umar. Yeah, you know.
I thought you was talking about.
Nah,
man, I'm like, wait a minute.
So Drake rephrased that when the Kendrick thing was happening, when everyone seemed like they were going at Drake, he was like, "Oh,
he called it 20v1." I got
right.
You.
So now I just kind of played on that to say, "Yo, Umar, the next time you go to Joe Budden, it's definitely gonna be a lion's den."
I see what you're saying.